Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to talk about the first part of the study guide. This was Tuesday's assignment. Um, I saw a lot of people, a lot of sixth graders at least, work through this, and it's great to see. Um, if you have friends in the class that you know aren't doing their work, um, please just text them or whatever, however you talk to them. Just let them know that there's a test this week, and they're really going to want to make sure they do it and work on these study guides. Okay. So, anyways, let's talk about the test a little bit. I will tell you more about it tomorrow, on Thursday. But um, the test will be about the same length as one of these study guides. Probably about 20 questions. Could be a little more, could be a little less. Um, the questions are going to be very similar to the study guide, but if anything, the test will be a little bit easier than the study guides as well. So if you did really well on it, you're probably in good shape for the test. Okay, if you did really well on both parts. Okay. Now, also on the test, there are going to be a few short answer questions. And for these, I'm going to give you a choice of a few questions to pick from. And you're going to send me a picture of your work for the questions that you pick. And you're going to send me your work, and I'll give you a grade on the work that you submit me. I'll tell you more about that in the video I release tomorrow for the test, but it is something to keep in mind. There will be probably like 2 or 3 short answer questions where I ask you to write out all of your work. Probably at least one of those is going to be something with finding the area of a compound shape, or finding the area between two shapes. Okay, so just a little tip there. There might be 1 or 2 of the short answer choices are going to be about those. Probably another one might be something to do with division. Maybe another one about percentages. I haven't really made up my mind, but there's some clues on what you might want to focus a little bit on, or just make sure you're ready for. Okay, so I'm going to give you some options to show me what you know. But anyways, I do want to get started on the study guide because there are a decent amount of questions, and there are 2 videos I want you to watch today. So let me get started. Excuse me. Let's look at the first question here. Find the area of the rectangle below. Okay, so we're trying to find the area of a rectangle. That means we're trying to find out how much space is inside of this. Right? We're using little squares, 1 square foot, and we're splitting this up. Okay, we don't see it, but there's basically a little grid here of blocks, and that's our area. Okay. Now to find the area, or how many little blocks we have, how many little squares there are, how many square feet we have in the middle, well, we multiply the length times the width. Now remember, we call this our length here, we call this our width, so all you have to do is 5 times 10 to get 50 square feet. Most people got this one correct, which is good. Now, a lot of people got this one wrong. And it's really just from being a little, I think, rushing, maybe being a little careless. Okay. So remember, when we're finding the perimeter, I did see a lot of you chose 15, which means that you knew that perimeter means you need to add up, and that's right. But people that picked 15, you forgot about 2 of the other sides, right? This side here is 5 feet, and this side here is 10 feet. So can't forget about them. They count too. So this side's 10 feet, this side's 5 feet. Okay, so with area, you only need to know 2 of the sides. With perimeter, you got to add up everything. So this is really 5 plus 5, right, for our 2 widths. And then we have 2 lengths, so 10 plus 10. And this will give you 30 square feet. Or no, 30 feet, not square feet, because we're working with perimeter. Perimeter is just regular feet because it's just the distance all the way around. All right, let's look at the next question. All right, I saw a lot of people struggled with this question as well. I believe they were mixing up with the formula for area of a triangle. It's the same thing as it is for a rectangle with a parallelogram. Okay, so it's just area is equal to length times width, just like with a rectangle. So that means that our height, it might look a little weird because this is not actually one of the sides, but our height is from the top of the parallelogram to the bottom of the parallelogram. Okay, so we take the height or width, 9 inches, and we multiply by the length, which is 6 inches. So we do 6 times 9, and that should give you 54 square inches. Okay, so that's what you should have gotten. For the next question, it's the same idea, multiplying some 2-digit numbers here, but you should be able to do that in 6th grade. So if you're not sure, make sure you look at that link I posted with this question for some practice questions on your double-digit multiplication. So first we do 8 times 1, that's 8. 1 times 1 is 1. Now we're multiplying by the tens place now, so we have to put a 0 before we can move on. Now we do 8 times 1, that's 8. 1 times 1 is 1. Add these up. You get 198. So that's this one here. Square kilometers. Okay, so parallelogram, don't need to be afraid of it. It's the same thing. You're just multiplying the height, which is from the top to the bottom. That's your height or your width, and you're multiplying that by the length. All right, so find the perimeter of the parallelogram below. I think actually most people did pretty well with this. So again, perimeter means that we need to add up the lengths of each side here. So this is really more of a decimal addition type of problem than anything. So you can just go ahead and set up your problem. With addition, it's nice because you can just line up everything like this. Okay, so you write it in. Now we're going to add. If you want to split it up, that's fine, but this works as well. The decimal is going to be in the same spot. Now we do 1 plus 1. That's 2. Plus 3 is 5. Plus 3 is 8. 8 here. 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 6 is 24. Plus another 6 is 30. So you should have gotten 30.8 yards. Find the area of the rectangle below. So this is a more of a decimal multiplication problem, but again, it does combine, this topic on area and perimeter that we worked with. It does combine it with the decimal stuff we did. So you should expect to see a couple problems like this one, a couple problems like the last one, at least one of each, but they're definitely fair questions for the test. So we have we need to find the area of the rectangle. We know we need to multiply the length times the width to do that. So we need to do 3.2 times 1.88. So with multiplication, you just line up your digits to the right. Oops. Our decimal's over here. So you're basically just ignoring it. You're really treating this as 188 times 32 at the start. And then we worry about the decimal at the very end. So you do 8 times 2, 16. Carry over the 1. 8 times 2 is 16 again. Plus the 1, that's 17. Carry over the 1. 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Now we're multiplying by the 3 now, so that means we need to start with the 0. Now we can do 8 times 3, which we know is 24. You can carry over the 2. We know that 8 times 3 is 24, plus 2 is 26. Yep, so then we can carry over 2 again. Now we do 1 times 3, that's 3, plus the 2, that's 5. Now you need to add these up. 6 plus 0 is 6. 7 plus 4 is 11. Carry over the 1. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 6 is 10. So we put a 0. Carry over the 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. Now we have our last step here. We need to see how many decimal places we need here. I know that there's 1, 2, 3 digits to the right of the decimals. So that means that we need 1, 2, 3 digits in our final, 3 digits to the right of the decimal in our final answer. So that means our decimal must go right here. Okay. So you get 6.016 square feet. If you did a quick little estimate, you might have saw that this was about 2. This is about 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So you could have actually eliminated this right off the bat. And if you looked at the decimal places, you could have actually eliminated this too and skipped all the work. But, I'll let you. Those little tricks, you should always look for those on anything with multiple choice. All right, find the area of the square below. This is one that a lot of people did struggle with, and just, I think, rushing again, to be honest. Take your time, especially on the test. Find the area of the square below. It's a square. Squares have 4 equal sides. So that means that this side is 5 yards as well. This one would be 5 yards. This one would be 5 yards. But for area, you only need to know 2. So you do 5 times 5, and that would give you 25. Now find the perimeter of the square below. So again, it's a square. It's the same square. It's 5 on 5 on each side. There's 4 sides that are 5 yards. So 4 times 5, 20 yards. Or you can do 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 and get the same answer. Find the area of the triangle below. Again, a lot of people did struggle with this one too. I think just going too quickly. I saw most people that got this wrong put 36, but that's not the right answer because we know 6 times 6 is 36. 6 times 6 would give you the area of this square, right, with a width of 6. But we want half that square. We want the triangle. So we need to do 6 times 6, 36, and then we need to take half of that. Well, to take half of that, you just divide by 2. Now, the way that you're always going to see the formula for area of a triangle written is like this. Or you could see it with like this. You'll see either one of these all the time. So this 1/2, remember, multiplying by 1/2, that's the same thing as dividing by 2. It's the same thing. So whatever you're more comfortable with, but that's the same thing, okay? So we need to do 36 divided by 2, and that gives us 18 square kilometers for our final answer. Okay, so same idea with this question. Um, 1/2 times the length times the width. Now, notice that the height is from here to here now. Okay, so you're going to see some triangles like that. It kind of just depends on how it's shaped. This is what we consider the width here. Whereas down here, this 9, that's our length. Okay, so we do, again, 9 times 6 to get 54. But that's not going to give us the final answer. This is a triangle, right? It has 3 sides, so we need to do this 54 multiplied by 1/2, or in other words, we divide by 2 to get 27 square kilometers. Which triangle below has a greater area? So there's 2 ways you could have worked this out. You could have, or 2 ways you could have done this. You could have done it the long way, where you actually go through and work out each triangle, find the area of each. Now, again, we know we're going to have to divide both of these by 2. So it doesn't really matter. We don't really actually have to find the whole area. I could just tell right off the bat, well, 5 times 6 is 30. 4 times 8 is 32. Well, I know 32 divided by 2 is still going to be bigger than 30 divided by 2. So this would have to be bigger, since 8 times 4 is bigger than 5 times 6. So this means, now if you go through and find it properly, you would do 5 times 6, 30. 30 divided by 2, 15. So this is for A. For B, we'd have 4 times 8, 32. 32 divided by 2, we know is 16. So the area is 1 square centimeter bigger. So this means triangle B has the greater area. Okay, so which triangle below is the greater perimeter? You guys did really well with this. This is just a matter of addition. 6 plus 10 is 16, plus 8 is 24. So triangle A has a perimeter of 24 inches. Triangle B, 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 7 is 19. So the perimeter of triangle A is 24 inches. The perimeter of triangle B is 19 inches. So triangle A has to have the bigger perimeter. Find the area of the blue triangle below. Okay, so again, this is the same formula as before. A lot of people miss this one as well, but it's the same thing. Now, I think what it was is that everybody, they went through, they multiplied 5 times 1.2. We know 5 times 2 is 10. Carry over the 1. Oops, actually, I thought it would work just fine like that, but let's do it like this. There we go. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry over the 1. 1 times 5 is 5, plus the 1, 6. And then we know that we have 1 decimal place, so we need 1 decimal place here. So this must be 6.0, but then we need to divide this 6 by 2, since it's a triangle, right? Right. This 6 would give us the area of the whole, give us an area of, well, actually it would be more like this. Oops. Try to draw it so it looks right. Third time's the charm. Kinda okay. Okay. So this actually creates a parallelogram. So again, this triangle is just half the parallelogram. So we're going to take this 6 and we're going to divide it by 2 since it's a triangle. So our answer is going to be 3 square miles. Most people that got this wrong put an answer of 6 square miles. Okay? So that's not the answer though, so just be careful. Make sure you're always thinking, what's the question actually asking for? Okay. So now we're going to find the area of the blue region. Now for this, I know we seem to really have a hard time with these, but it's the same steps each time. We're going to find the area of the outside rectangle, right? The whole outside, as if this hole wasn't here. That's what we're doing. We're finding the area of the whole thing. And then we're going to take away the area of this little hole here. And then that's going to leave us with the area of this whole blue region around it. Okay. So this is going to be equal to what we're looking for, like this. Okay, so you need to think about why this works. We're taking this away from the area of the whole rectangle, and what that leaves us is this blue region left over. So you take 10 times 10, gives you 100, and then you subtract 6 times 6, which is 36, and that'll give you 64 square feet. Okay, so 10 times 10 for the area of the whole thing here. Then you take away the area of the whole, which is 6 times 6, 36, and that leaves you with the blue region that we wanted. Alright, so it's the same idea with this one. I know we haven't done one like this, but if you understand it, follow the same steps. But a lot of people did get this right. A lot of people got it wrong too, but find the area of the hole outside. Well, that's 5 times 9, that's 45. Then subtract the area of the hole. Well, in this case, the hole is shaped like a triangle. So the area of the triangle we know is going to be, well, 4 times 7. And then we have to divide that by 2. Well, we know 4 times 7 is 28. So we have to do 28 divided by 2, or 14. So if you go and find the area of this triangle, you're going to get an area of 14 square feet. 45 minus 14 will give you 31 square feet. So I did see a lot of people put 17. That means you were really close, but you forgot to divide the area. You forgot to divide over here by 2. If you put 17, that's why you got it wrong. Alright, find the area of the compound figure below. So there's a few different ways you could have done this. One way is you could have split it up like this, or you could have split it up like this. Either way will give you the same answer. Let's do it like this. So we know the area of this rectangle here is going to be 2 times 3, so that's going to be 6. Now we need to think about the area of this rectangle. So you got to look at this. What's the length here? Well, we have a 9 and a 12, but this 12, this is counting over here too, right? This extra 3 millimeters, right? 9 plus 3 would give us this whole side here, 12. But we don't want this whole side, right? Because we're already counting that over here, so we don't want that. Now this 4 millimeters over here, well, that's counting from here to here, but it doesn't count from this part here. Okay, so this isn't our height. We want to get rid of that. So that leaves us with 9 times 6. Right? We're finding the area of a rectangle, so 9 times 6 would be 54. 54 square millimeters plus 6 square millimeters give you 60 square millimeters. All right, last question here. So again, you could have split this up in 2 different ways. Maybe you split it up like this, or maybe you split it up like this. I'm going to split it up like this. Either way works, but this is the way I'm picking. So if you split it up the other way, you're going to have to pick some different numbers to use. Okay. So if you split it up differently, it will work, but you can't follow the same steps I did when I split it up like this. So let's see. We need to find the area of this rectangle here. Well, this is our length. Let's see, the 7. We have a 7 and a 12. Well, I know 12. 12 is bigger than 7. So 12 must be referring to this whole side, which we don't want, right? Because we're trying to just find the area of this rectangle. We don't want this extra here. So that must mean that the 7 kilometers must be the width of it. So we do 7 times 4 to give us 28 square kilometers here. Now we have this rectangle down here we need to find. Well, 12 looks like it's going from here to here, which is good. That's our length, right? It's going along the whole bottom of the rectangle. And then over here, well, we don't have any choices to make. We just know that we don't want this because that's from here to here, but we don't want that. We just want this so that we can multiply the width and the length together to get the area of this bottom rectangle. Well, 5 times 12 is 60. And then the last step is to add up 60 plus 28. 60 plus 28 will give you 88 square kilometers. All right, so this is all stuff we've done. Make sure you're practicing. You go through the old IXLs. You don't have to do the whole thing over, but do a few questions just to make sure even if you could do it before, make sure you can still do it. Don't worry about your score. If you're at an 80 and you're worried about your score going down, don't worry about that. I'm going to give you full credit. If I saw that you got it up to an 80 or around there, then you're fine. I can see if your score went down. I'm not going to mark you off for that. So please get on IXL and practice if you need to. I also put together a Prodigy assignment with probably, 50 or more questions. So it should keep you busy for at least a little bit. Just give you a little bit of extra practice on some of the stuff we've covered. So this video did get pretty long, and I do have a second one to post. I'm sorry, but it's test week. We got to put a little extra time in. So thank you, everybody. I'll talk to you soon in the next video.